morning and welcome to Trading with Larry. Larry Benedict, joined by Eric Shamilov. What's up, Eric? Good morning.
Good morning, Larry. Good morning, everyone.
Yep. We'll talk a little about yesterday. Market reversed everything from the day before, which we've seen relentlessly over the last couple of years. All algo related nonsense, but markets closed higher. Um, Dow was up about 400. Nasdaq got back pretty much everything, and S&P got back most of everything. And if you add on today, we're actually higher on the week again. So here we are, S&P up 20, Nasdaq up 100. Everything on my board's up. Oil's up, gold's up, silver traded $91. Bull market back on. I have not shorted silver yet. I'm thinking very seriously about putting on a silver short. Uh, for a trade using options on defined risk, like we always talk about. Potentially that looks like a decent area, but you never know. Everything, overshoots what you think it's going to do. So here we sit. State of the Union last night. Just, all I could say is it's unbelievable. I mean, it almost was like reality mixed with comedy, mixed with Trump staring down opponents in the room, and I don't think we got much out of it. Said the Dow was at 50,000, his regular thing, just gas is $2 in Iowa somewhere at his gas station that no one can go to. My gas is basically over three and change right now. And as you're a pretty smart guy, I believe. Oil was trading in the low to mid 50s, and now oil is about to trade 70. Okay, so gas prices cannot be coming down. Okay, you and I both know that. Okay, so I don't know how he's touting that, but he is, and here we sit. Um, Bitcoin had a little move up, waiting for you to somehow get stopped in. You're going to get stopped in at 69, and I'm selling it at 70. Okay, so um,
Okay. Okay.
the bottom line is I'm mad at myself. I thought Ethereum yesterday got to a really, really ridiculously. It was trading at 18,000. I mean 1,800, down from 4,500. Bitcoin is trading at 62,000, down 54%, and you're not chirping it up. You have no interest. I just want to clarify on this air right the
Uh,
hell now at
yep.
64,000 and half, you have no interest. But if the price goes
No,
to 73, you have interest. I mean,
exactly. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. So
okay,
you're
tell me.
getting into Bitcoin. And I'm going to use this analogy. It's like a party. Everybody got drunk. All right. It's like 4 in the morning. You have a guy in the corner vomiting. You have the cops knocking on the door. And all of a sudden, the boomer walks in and he's like, hey, let's party. That's you right now.
Why is that
Bitcoin.
me? How
That's
could
you.
that?
The
How could
party.
that? Time out. How could
Everybody's
that
hungover,
possibly? Hold
and
on.
you
The
just
party
start
happened at
partying.
100. Time out. The party happened at 120,000. Okay, or 130,000. Okay, I'm in the party right now with a bunch of drunk guys falling down on the
Yeah,
floor, and I'm getting free
exactly.
alcohol. Okay, I'm getting the
Yeah,
free
you think
alcohol.
you
Okay,
think you're getting free alcohol. Let
I
me ask
do.
you a question.
I do.
The
I do.
incremental Bitcoin
I'm
buyer.
not listening. Listen, you could tell me anything. You sat on this air at 130, said it was going higher, said it would never go down, and said you would never sell it. And now you're telling me my location is bad at 60,000. I'm not saying it's good, bad, indifferent, but it's
I'm not
certainly,
saying it's bad.
I
I'm saying
can't, time out.
why is
Time out.
it such a hard trade?
Dude,
Why is it
can
such
I
a
say
hard trade?
something? I can't lose what that drunk guy at the party has already lost because it would have to go to zero. Okay. So the guy bought 130. I'm buying it at 60. He's down 68,000. And the thing is only trading at 60. Now it's trading at 64 and a half, 65. But I'm buying 62s. I can't lose what that guy lost in the rest of my life. Okay. So you can use the analogy of the drunk party, but I'm in the drunk party and everyone's passed out. Okay. And they're going to wake up and they're going to sober up. Okay. And they're going to
Yeah,
get
they will. 100%. They're gonna sober up, but they're not sober yet.
looking at it as a trade. That's it. I'm not looking at it like Bitcoin is defining reality and it's going to be the new medium for money or any of the excuses that you came on the air and were spewing, okay? Or the people out there are spewing of how I need it. I'm never going to need Bitcoin and I know that, okay? But this is just a trade location. And like you're saying to me, if the price goes up, then you're interested again. And
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
why.
I'll tell you why. Because the incremental Bitcoin buyer is only looking at price. You call me Johnny Price, and that is true when it comes to Bitcoin. Bitcoin needs short-term momentum. Most of the players in Bitcoin, they're only looking at price. So
But you're not gonna listen. I would define, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because we got a lot to talk about. But I don't want to spend a lot of time on this today. But this. I've been doing this for a long time. Okay, I've seen a lot of markets. I've seen markets just like this. This is an extreme to the downside. Okay. But this is, Eric, this is a broken market. Okay. And to get momentum in it, you're going to need all new people. And you're not going to have all new people because all the people are in it. They're in it. This market was able to recover back in the day when we had crypto nuclear winters and all kinds of BS. It was able to recover. You know why, Eric? Because it was a very lowly owned asset class, owned by very sophisticated or more sophisticated investors that were buying it in a wallet. They had it in their car on a zip drive or whatever. Now, everyone and their mother, including my mother, probably has an allocation to Bitcoin. So it can't do what it's doing, but I'm extremely bullish for a trade on this. Just because it feels now listen, as people that watch this podcast that know me really well, and I had this trade in Oracle late last year where I was basically a week early and then the thing exploded. Um, I'm about, it's starting to move up today a little bit, and I'm gonna add to the position if it goes up another 1,000 or 1,500. Um, I'm a little early. I've been chatting about this for a week. I'm a little early. I haven't been that dislocated on price, but I'm a little bit early. So generally a little bit early. But to me, when you're looking to think there's going to be, how do you think there's going to be momentum at 69? I mean, I know you picked that number probably out of a hat, but how are you
no,
thinking there's
I'm just tracking. I'm tracking two short-term moving averages, the 8-day and the 21.
Yeah, but 2
Uh,
days ago, a week and a half ago, we were above 70,000. On Sunday night, before they made up this story that Trump tariffs are bad for crypto, I don't know why, because they already were in, but before they made up that narrative, on Sunday night, this traded 68,800, So the bottom line is until it cracked down about 8% off of the fake tariff thing, we were basically right there. So I just don't. I listen. I hope it happens because I have it, but I don't think at 69.70 you're going to have a moonshot to wherever you think we're going. I don't know. Where do you think
yeah,
we're
well,
going?
that's stopping as that moving average is dropping. That's where my stop buy is. Look, most of Bitcoin returns. If you take all of Bitcoin's daily returns, all of them, all of the returns exist above short-term moving averages. There's a reason that's the case. Every asset is a sum of its parts. Some get dominated by momentum more than others. Crypto is almost purely dominated by short term momentum. So that's the factor I lean on until I
But
see
let
short.
me ask you a question. Do you think you're going to get stopped in at 69,000? Do you think? At some point in the next 3 months, do you think it's going to be above 69,000? I'm asking. I'm just asking a general question for the people out there because what you're
Well,
talking about is
well
insanity.
played. Well
It's
played. Well
insane.
played.
It's
Well
insane.
played. Yes, I
I'm
do think it.
asking you if you're going to get stopped in above 69,000 in the next 2 months.
Yes.
How about in the next 2 days? Okay. So my question is, my
Maybe.
time out. You like that level. You believe you're getting
Oh,
stopped in. Time out. You believe you're going to get stopped in at some point in the next couple of weeks. Okay.
yeah.
So why wouldn't
Yeah.
you buy 62,000?
Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell
Tell me
you.
why, because I'm going to get up and re-sit down. I'm
Okay.
re-sitting down right
Okay.
now because I want to hear this explanation for someone that's been in the market for 40
You've been in
years.
Bitcoin for about a week now, okay, and you've been struggling in that position, and I'm not in it. I don't have
Struggling.
to
I'm
worry
now
about
up
it,
on the
and
position.
that's because of that
Time out.
stop buying.
I'm now up on the position. Just so you know,
Okay,
I know
I
you're
hope
not
you
looking
good,
at it
but
today,
I'm
but
just saying
it's
I
up
didn't have to sit
3%
through it.
this morning. I'm now up on the position, and I have a position, which is probably a good thing. B, I'm going to add to the position when it's working. So what I'm saying to you in the construction of a trade, okay? Do you think Bitcoin's going to 50,000, 60,000? Do you? Do you think it's going below 60,000?
I think there's a chance. Yeah, I think
Okay.
if the
So
market
I do not think
drops,
on
yeah,
this. I think this is the low of this run. Okay, in here, 60,000 will be the low of this
probably
run.
right.
Okay,
Yeah, you're
I
probably
don't
right.
know. I may be wrong. Listen, I may be wrong. Okay, but here's the question that I have, and it's kind of a trading question, and for people out there, I think it's important to listen to. Okay, I'm not telling you to put a core position on at 62,000, but if you believe, which you just said you believe, you're going to get stopped in at some point in the next couple of weeks, why wouldn't you have a tidbit position just so you have something going so that when you get stopped in, your location is better than locating 10,000 points, which in this case, 10,000 points or actually 9,000 points is 15%. Like, come on, think about what we're
Dude,
talking about.
it's process over anything else for me. I don't
Dude,
like to
you're going to
just.
get, I'm telling you, you're going to get
Oh,
stopped
let me
in.
finish the thought. Okay, I know I'm going to get stopped in, and it doesn't matter if I get stopped in. I don't care if I get stopped in,
Okay.
and
Well, what are
I
you going
care
to,
more
time out.
about process.
Okay, but then let me ask you how you handle.
Discretionary, hey, I just want to get in, just get in. I don't like doing that.
I'm
That's not how.
asking you a question, okay? Because this is trade dynamics, okay? You're now stopping in 15%. Just listen to me. Let me finish what I'm saying. You're getting stopped in 15% off the low, okay? What are you doing with the stop? Explain to me, how do you handle? Okay, you're stopped in at 69. Okay, it trades 69. Then all of a sudden we go to 66. Are you stopping out? Like, I'm
If
not
it,
understanding.
yeah, I would reduce. Yeah, if it depends on how long I want to keep the trade going in. But if it can maintain
But
a
you're a
short term,
long term. This is what I don't understand. You're so bullish on Bitcoin, other than the
yeah,
fact that it's down. If Bitcoin, listen, I was throwing up on myself for 4 months talking about Bitcoin because it was the most absurd thing. And you, listen, it
yeah,
was right at
you're
the time. You
go
were
for it.
bullish. You had thought there was no end in sight. It was going to a million, billion, trillion. And then, no, you
Never,
did. You did.
never.
You literally said you would never sell Bitcoin. You
Yeah,
actually said that.
I don't short Bitcoin. It's on
Why?
my because it's on my long
It's the
only list.
worst performing market probably in history from
That's
the
okay.
top. I'm just
Uh,
saying. But why
that's
wouldn't
fine.
you short
I
it?
caught other
Bitcoin
markets
is
short. I
no
don't need
Eric,
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is no different than anything that we trade. Why? I don't understand. It's no different trading
Not how I look
gold.
at it. That's not how I look at it. The
Okay.
way I look at things, I have certain things on my long only list, certain things on my short only list, and then I pick out
Right.
levels.
Okay.
Yeah, I let those
Well,
things
that
come.
listen,
Yeah,
Eric, for the people out there, that is not anything that
I
anybody should ever do when they trade.
completely because I actually think that's what everyone should do because it just simplifies the universe of what you're looking.
Actually, the crazy. Okay, so what's the S&P? S&P you can short and go long, but Bitcoin you can. Dude, what are you talking about? You're the do not short gold and silver, and now you're short silver. So what happened? You broke
I'm
your
not
own rule.
well. I'm spreading gold and silver. Number one.
You think that's a spread? You got one up 4% and one flat, basically up 50 bips. That ain't no spread, just so you know. That's the first
All
important thing that you should understand. Silver could
right.
go up 10%, gold could be down today. So you could lose on both. So be
Okay.
careful when you're doing those spreads.
I'll be
Okay.
careful.
So
One
I'm
thing I'm
enjoying
concerned
this so
about,
far. I'm
actually.
enjoying this so far today. I'm just,
Well, yeah,
I,
you're.
I got to tell you, listen, you say there are things you should never short and never go
Yeah,
long. I
yeah.
totally disagree. Basically, there's levels for everything. I would
Okay.
never want to buy Bitcoin in my life. I don't
How
even
long are
think,
you sitting in your Bitcoin position right now when you got long? And tell us the levels you got in, but be honest.
Eric, I'm going to lie. Okay. I'm going to come on and lie.
You said
I'm
64.
long. I'm long. First of all, before we even get to that, I'm long through options. Okay. So all of my stuff is defined risk, which is important because if I bought Bitcoin on the way down and I didn't have defined risk, I'd be blown out of the building. So
Are you up
basically,
on your option position? Yes or no?
what?
Are you up on your option position in
Today
Bitcoin?
I
Yes.
am up on my option position.
Today,
Yes.
but overall.
No, overall, today puts me up on my option positions. Yes, I'm up
Mm,
on my option position. But here's the thing.
how much? A penny?
I lose this option position, so I'm now going to in the morning buy more options. I'm buying upside calls. I'm going to buy the 40 calls in IBIT, going out a couple of weeks. I think that we could get some juice, but again, this we're not out yet, but it feels. Listen, I'm mad. I'm more mad in Ethereum because I really wanted to buy that yesterday and I didn't. And that thing's up actually more than Bitcoin. Like these altcoins will act better than Bitcoin, but to me, this is the dynamic of a market that's sold out. Okay, it's sold out. Anyone that wanted to sell Bitcoin for the last look how long Bitcoin sat down here. It's been 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, right down here. So anyone that needed to sell sold. But listen, we'll see how it acts today. Um, I don't really want to talk about it any more than I believe that it's going to rally. And the thing is, I don't think this is a rally for the ages or whatever. Like, I think if you can get 72,000 for this thing, I would punt it pretty quickly. But I do think you're going to get stopped in within the next today or tomorrow into Friday. You're
Yeah,
going to.
I'm preparing. I'm preparing.
But what are
MSTR
you
looks.
preparing for? Like, I don't understand. If you're going to get stopped in, like, what's the big? I know you're like all arrogant and whatever. What's the difference if you pay 60
I'm not
cents?
arrogant. I'm just more about process than like
But what's the
discretion.
process?
Yeah,
What's
you're
the
gonna buy
process?
it.
Dude, what is the process? I
I
don't
just told you.
understand. You
When it
think if it
comes to
rallies 2,500
very,
more points that you have
let's
a
move
process?
on. Let's move on. This is. I told you the process. You don't want to listen to it.
Mhm.
You keep asking the same question. I told you.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
looking at short-term moving averages exclusively for
Well,
Bitcoin.
how does a short-term moving average not move when we're down here for 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's been coming down, and
You're
my
coming
stop.
up with the same level every day. There's
Let's
no
move
way the
on.
short-term moving
Let's move
average can
on.
be Eric, the
Larry, let's move
short-term
on.
moving average cannot be the same when we just
Larry,
went and
let's
made a
move
new
on.
low.
Let's move on.
Why? We're not moving on. Okay. Well, I'm trying to
I'm
understand
not
how.
answering any more
Explain
questions about
something. I want you to explain how the short-term
it.
moving
I've
average
explained
doesn't
it's
move
pretty
down.
simple. I'm not explaining further.
Okay. 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 You can be this way. It's fine,
Let's move on.
dude. Okay. So we'll move on to what you want to talk about because you don't want to talk about it. So go
Well,
ahead.
what is there? We're beating a dead horse. How
We're not
long do you
beating
want
a
to talk
dead
about
horse.
this?
I'm asking you questions of which you're getting all ornery and not answering. I'm
No,
asking a
I think
simple.
I'm saying it rather simply that I'm looking at two short-term
But you
moving averages.
can't, but
And
that moving average, you're not listening. The moving average cannot be the same when we go back down and make a new low. The moving averages have to move. So the moving
yeah,
average can't still
and
be at 69.
my stop entry is dynamic with that moving average. What
I
is the
understand.
issue?
So, but it can't be 69,000. It can't
It's
be.
not
Okay,
now.
because
It's
we just got to 60.
67.70.
Dude, we just got to 62,000. That moving average has to move down as we're moving down. We went
Yeah,
from 66,000 down to 62,000.
yeah,
Okay. That's a
yeah.
that's basically an 8% move. So the moving average has to be lower. The stop price has to be lower. That's all I want to say. I don't want to say anything else. It cannot stay stagnant at
My
69,000.
stop being not been moving down with that moving average.
Well, you didn't say that because a week ago you said
I've
69
been
and you're
telling
saying
you, I said it
69.
several times. You just don't listen.
Okay, bro. Whatever you say. Okay. I don't listen. Dude, I'm asking you a question. You came on a week ago and you said this moving average was 69,000. That's the level you want to get long. The index was trading at 66.
Yeah,
Okay.
the moving
When
average
the index goes to
went lower.
62, the
What
moving
did I
average
tell you?
has to
The
go
moving
down.
average.
Dude,
Hold
listen, whatever you say. I'm
on.
just saying, whatever you say, you're right. I'm so mad about this Ethereum. Ugh, got talked out of it. Damn it. Anyway, we'll talk about whatever you want. You want to talk about oil, or is that off limit, or do you want to? What do you want to talk about?
I
Want
think
to talk about
IBM looks
Straddle? What do you
interesting.
want to talk about? Tell me.
I think IBM looks interesting, actually.
Of course, you've been focused on that for like 4 days. I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean,
I got taken down by Anthropic. What I noticed about IBM that's different from the other stocks that got taken down by Anthropic is the very next day after that big leg down, it started to find support and rally. Whereas like CBRE, Expedia, all the software stocks that got hit, they just kept going down. There was no bounce. IBM is starting to bounce kind of right away. So just from a technical point of view, looking at it that way, I think IBM was a little bit overdone. I got long IBM yesterday, um, and I think I want to add to it. I think it goes to like 245 in the short term, but just the reason it got hit so quick, I think there's a little bit of a misunderstanding about what Anthropic can take away from IBM, especially in the short term. So I think the market's looking at it that way as well. So to me, IBM is interesting, and in general, yesterday it just felt like the risk on trade was back. All the stocks that got hit by Anthropic rallied. So I'm looking to see whether there's staying power in that in that trade. I don't think there will be, but that's something I'm looking at today. Of
yeah,
all of those stocks that got hit, I would rather be long IBM than any other ones.
maybe. I mean, listen, it's up 5% in the last 2 days. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you think 233 is a good level. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, if you pull a chart in IBM, it's the same chart as Oracle, it's the same chart as Microsoft, it's the same chart as every stock up there. Um, you know, the stock I don't follow, but I looked at the last couple of days. Workday got worked, as they say, but they're all the same chart. They're down 40 to 50%. They're the Palantir charts. But what I believe has happened here is that it's irrelevant. Those actually act as a positive for the stock market. Okay, because today, if IBM's up, it'll add value to the market. They may take the bellwether they've been buying. This is a sector rotation market. This market is literally it's bonkers. We closed 2 days ago on basically the second low close of the year. Okay, basically down 120 points from where we are now. Not a lot going on, but the bottom line is the bottom line is that they keep bringing it back. They keep getting closer to the high, but it's still a no trade. The interesting thing today, and we've talked about this every single day we've come on the air, is the straddle, which is what we cue into to know what's going to happen for the day. And what I would tell you, okay, is is that is that the straddle, which has been 50 every single day, and really hasn't made it. Yesterday it made it slightly. The market was up about 50, $60. It made it slightly. Today's straddle is $30. So basically, they've taken all the vol on a day over day basis. They've destroyed people, and now no one has money left to buy this straddle. So the straddle is only $30. And I don't know, listen, we didn't move yesterday in the last 2 hours of trading. We sat literally in a five handle range. So I'm thinking we may break out to the upside here, maybe, but I am thinking that not a lot is happening. And I would say, I'll price the straddle now. Let me see where it's at. Um, it's under 30. Under 30. It's like 30, 29, whatever. So that's amazing. The straddle is almost in half from where we quoted it in the morning yesterday. So it seems like we're going to have a quiet, fairly quiet up day. It's hard for them unless there's some kind of geopolitical news. And you got to listen, we have a lot to look forward to, which we got to get to in this podcast. That is Nvidia's earnings, which is the flavor of the day, but that comes after the close today. So people aren't going to move around that much until they see those numbers, which we talked about. Jensen is definitely not saying anything bad. So, that's interesting. But what's more interesting, I don't know if you've looked at Nvidia at all. I don't know if you're playing it.
I'm not playing it. I'm not going to play Nvidia unless I don't know if it has like an outsized day right before earnings. I might. Um,
Well,
I might.
The Nvidia straddle is 5%, which is very, very, very low. Very
But the
low.
strategy before earnings on Nvidia has been pretty low for like the last I don't know handful of quarters.
Oh no, it's 11. It's 11. It's not that low, but it's pricing in like a 7% move. I don't know. Listen, I've traded Nvidia a lot of earnings and they've blown people's heads off. Listen, the stock's run up a lot. They're saying, the stock was 170 last month. So it's run up a lot into the earnings. So it's probably got capped upside. Maybe look to put on a put ratio spread into earnings. Would be interesting. So I don't know in Nvidia. I mean, I do know. They'll never have a bad number. He'll never say anything bad. So, I don't know what dynamic they're going to look at in the number that's going to make them realize what we're going to do. Okay, plus or minus. So, I think I'm going to get some color on that from a few analysts today that I speak to at the large bulge bracket firms, get an idea of what the metric is, and then have an idea for trade. I will have a position on an NVIDIA. Obviously, it will be in options. I'm going to structure an option trade. I know you don't like it, whatever. Dude, I could create the beauty of what I do. And, you didn't trade an option before you met me. Okay. It's options give you the ability, okay, to put on whatever you want. So you could say to me, Larry, I think this stock, it's trading at 195. I think it's going to 205. And what I do, it's almost like a doctor, like being a specialist. Okay. I basically will look at that and I'll say, hey, this option is priced at this vol, this is that vol, and this is the position I think. If you think that stock's going to 210, it is best to play it. And the beauty of doing that is if we happen to be wrong and it doesn't trade 210, we know we're only going to lose the amount of money that we're putting up. And that's the beauty of options. And it gives you the ability to do a lot of different things. So, that's what I do. So,
So
we're
how
going
do you
to,
play it after you talk to your analysts and after they give you their generic view? What are you going to do?
I have no idea. I'm going to look at the option pricing. And if I'm bearish, I'll put on a spread. I'll either sell a call spread on the upside. I could actually be bearish. Check this out. I could be bearish on Nvidia and actually do a call ratio spread that basically brings me money, okay, where I'm taking in a credit. And even if the stock goes up a little, I can make money. So there's a million different things that I'm going to look at, but I'm not looking till midday, minimally, maybe late in the day. Um, I generally don't play a lot of earnings, but I will play the big ones, Apple, Nvidia, just because they're usually contained. But it was funny. Last year, I played Microsoft earnings, like I put positions on, and Microsoft moved like 25% in a day. And then it came back in. But I mean, the moves last year were crazy. So, definitely play Nvidia. Um, it looks like the market can't go down in Nvidia. Um, so, maybe do a downside put spread, something, but I don't really have a game plan in that at this minute in time. What I do want to talk about also, which is, I don't know if you have the time on this, but we're meeting, I think in Riyadh or wherever they're meeting, somewhere in the Middle East, about the Iranian trade deal. Okay, of which
It's Eva.
Geneva. Okay, so basically, it's going to come. It's probably going to come in the morning, maybe, or early
Yeah, there's
morning.
no set time. There's no set time, but I think approximately we'll get something 3 to 5 a.m. Eastern time. So
You think so? I don't think so. I think
approximately.
it's. I think
There's
it's
no
coming.
there's no set time.
I know,
That's
but
the
I think it's coming in the morning because that'll be like late afternoon there, is our morning. I would assume it's going to come at that time. Um, so, but I mean, I'm sitting here trying to understand why we want to do a trade deal with them. Why do we want to do a trade deal with them? What deal could we do that even makes any sense? Just explain it to me. Let's talk about it for a second. I know you don't want to talk about a lot, but let's talk about it for a second. What trade deal do you think they want to make? Like
we're not the meeting's not about a trade deal, Larry. It's about
an oil
nuclear.
deal, a deal for nuclear, a nuclear deal.
It's not a trade deal.
Okay, whatever, a nuclear deal. Okay, a nuclear deal. We're making a nuclear deal with
So what I got from Trump yesterday in the State of the Union is he basically said, "I want to hear the magic words from Iran that we will never, ever, ever uh, go for nuclear weapons." So
time out. Their PM said it's their right to enrich uranium. He came on Face the Nation and said on Sunday that they have the right to enrich uranium. Okay, and they are going to enrich uranium. So what trade deal, like, or what nuclear deal are we going to have? That's what the only nuclear deal that I believe that we should ever do. Okay, and I don't even know why we're in this place because we've had 18 deals with them over the last 10 years. Okay, that we had, remember, we had UN inspectors going in and inspecting their nuclear facilities for years, and then they kicked them out. Like, what kind of deal can we do? Like, there is no deal. I mean, there is no deal. So I don't understand. I know they're going to come out with the frame. Dude, you know exactly what's going to happen. They're coming out with the framework for a deal, the same way we had a framework for every trade deal. Okay, we're going to have a framework for a deal. Okay, there will be no deal, and then we're going to have to revisit this. And the irony is that we have massive assets in the Middle East. I don't know if you saw yesterday. Did you see yesterday the F-22? Did you see this
yeah,
thing with the F-22s? They landed over 20 F-22s in Israel. Okay, in Israel. Okay, I mean, to make these military maneuvers is in the millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe even more. Like, we're gonna waste our time. Like, what was the point yesterday of moving 22, okay, F-22 stealth bombers to Israel? Like, it doesn't matter if they're sitting in Israel or they're sitting on a carrier. Like, they're right
well,
there. I mean,
it's like negotiating with a gun to your head, and they brought the gun, right? And it's going to be interesting what happens
but
tomorrow.
why
I
do we
think
have to negotiate with them? That's what I don't understand. There is no negotiation, dude. You are not. able to enrich uranium and you were not to have a nuclear weapon. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And we've been down this road. Like, I don't know why we're here. What kind of deal do you, okay, so they're going to say they're not going to do it. Do you believe they're not going to do it? If they, I mean, they're
No,
doing it.
not Iran. Not
What?
Iran. Not Iran. If they say they're not going to do it, they probably will, given the track record. But it's all very odd that we are I agree that we're negotiating with them after we bombed them, right? It appears we haven't taken out all of their nuclear capability, and now we're in negotiation.
I think it's more like we haven't taken out any nuclear capacity. I think the you know how they have like prearranged trades in trading, like when they cross trades on the floor and stuff. The bottom line is this was a prearranged attack. They told them what they were going to do. Then the Iranians threw a missile like 10 miles from our base to say they won the war to their people who don't believe them anyway. Basically, I think oil is a long. I think it's. I think the chance if they do something positive, oil doesn't trade down much, and if they don't do anything and it gets a little hairy, oil has an $80 handle on it, depending on what they do. So I think the risk reward, again, another way to play it is through options where you can, I'm not calling it a bet, but you could put a position on where you're, you know, making an ice cream sundae that basically puts you in a position to take advantage of an up move. So I like oil to the upside here. I listen. They do some kind of deal. I just don't know what kind of deal they can do. Like, let's talk about it. What could they do? They're going to say they're not making nuclear weapons. If they were doing that, they would have done that on meeting number one. Why do we have 10 meetings and now another meeting if they said, "Hey, we're not making nuclear weapons and we're going to shut down everything," the deal would be signed, right? It would be done. But they haven't done that, okay? And they're the most untrustworthy people. He needs to take out their. Why can't we just take it out? That's what I don't understand. Why can't we know where all their nuclear stuff is? We got crazy drones and satellites. We know where they live. We should just go in and take it out. And then there's nothing to talk about, right?
Yeah,
So
I
I
don't know.
don't know.
I actually don't like going into oil ahead of this meeting because I looking at the forward curve in oil, I think oil has come up recently more to do with just the natural ebb and flow of oil. There's hedging to the upside going on in the back end of the curve. The front end of the curve has actually been declining. That's the part of the curve you want to look for any kind of short term geopolitical thing. I just don't see it. I think if oil goes up, it's not going to be because of the outcome of tomorrow's meeting. Um, so
Oh, come
I
on. Of course,
rather
come on. Of course you do. Okay, what if they come out with no, dude, they come out with no deal. You think oil is going down? I mean, come on. If they come out with no deal and it goes awry, oil is up at least three to
wouldn't
five
you
dollars.
think that a better play given that situation? Maybe yeah. You said you like oil over gold on a geopolitical thing. I actually like gold over oil on this particular one, just for right now. I mean, if I see something else in the front end of the curve that would tell me differently, I just don't see it right now. So I'm not.
Dude, you like gold no matter what. You like gold if the market goes up. You like gold if the market goes down. You like gold if the dollar's going up. You like gold if the dollar's going down. You like gold if bonds are going up. You like gold if bonds are going down. Okay. And the truth is, yesterday it was down $100. You can't even tell me why. And today it's up 40. Okay. And the one thing I'll say, because I'm not going to pick on direction. Okay. But here's the question. You've been bullish gold, like it's annoying to me because I used to hate the guys on the floor. Okay. The guys on the floor that were gold bugs, okay, were the worst traders I ever met. They were, stargazers, the moon aligned with the sun. We got to buy gold, this, that. So my question is no, I'm being honest. How do you trade gold? How do you know if gold's going to be up today or down? You have zero idea. Zero. You
I
can't
wasn't. I wasn't really
tell me why
bullish.
gold was down 100 yesterday. Why was gold down 100 yesterday? You have no idea. More sellers than buyers. And today gold is up 45. Okay. Do you think it's going to close positive or negative? You have no, what I'm saying is like when you watch the S&P or whatever markets I'm watching, and the clues may not work. I'm not saying they will, but the clues today in the S&P are kind of telling me that the S&P can't go down. You got DAX back up near the high. You got Nikkei rallying. You got, bonds trading at a good level. Gold is a
I have a
phantom.
question for you about those clues. By the way, you talk about the DAX a lot, right? Other indices globally. The U.S. is flat on the year. Agreed. You look at all these other foreign exchanges; they're all up like 10%. A lot of
Mm,
them are up 10%.
some of them are up. Some of them are up like
Look at
that.
South
Europe,
Korea.
Europe,
I mean,
time
South
out.
Korea
Yeah,
has been exploding this year. The Kospi.
dude, nobody looks at Korea.
How's that a clue
I
anymore?
know, but nobody looks at Korea. Nobody's looking at South Korea, which the
Really,
market
nobody's
cap.
looking at South Korea.
Eric,
I think a lot
Eric,
of people
Eric,
starting to look at South
Eric,
Korea.
Eric, listen to me, please. The market cap of South Korea is less than half of Nvidia. Okay,
Yeah, but
of
it's
the
now
whole
a
market
proxy
cap.
for
Okay, come on. There's no market cap in these indexes. Okay. For years and years and years, Japan was terrible. Now Japan is back to, dude, you can't look at it that way. Japan is basically a little higher than it was 50 years ago. 50 years ago. It's the same kind of trade as silver. Like silver's going wild now, but silver sat for 50 years and didn't move, right? Okay. So how are you equating like the move in South Korea or the move in the Nikkei to the move in us? What,
I'm asking you, why are you equating
because you
these?
you have to you have
You
to
have to.
you
They're
have to
completely
on a day to day. You have to. I mean, I'm not looking at the Kospi. I'm not looking at the South Korean index, but I'm looking a little bit at. Now listen, does it have the big effect that it used to? These used to have a really big effect. It doesn't have the big effect that it used to, but it definitely sets the table or sets the trend. So I know you don't believe it, and you're
no.
saying, "Oh, this market, Eric." Yeah, okay. So the Nikkei is up 10% for the year. Okay, but go over the last 30 years. We're up freaking thousands of percent, and they're flat. So you can't really look at it like that. This is just listen. The same trade happened last year. The beginning of last year, the DAX rallied 25%, Eric, and we were down on the year or flat. Then all of a sudden, the DAX came in and we rallied. But on a day to day, to just look at stability, I think it's something you can look at. That's all. Is it the greatest clue? I'm not saying it's the greatest clue, but it's a
I don't think
better
it's
clue
any.
than anything you're looking at for gold. Like I don't know, like how do you know what the next move in gold is? Like what are you looking at other than, Johnny Price, because it's up today. But like explain this to me. Yesterday gold was down at one point 120 on the cash. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why. That's what I'm saying. And then today it comes in and it's higher by 35. And is that a big up move considering we were down over 100 yesterday? I don't know. So all I'm saying for me as a trader, it's hard for me to gauge gold. Like I don't know, we happen to be short um we happened to be shorted yesterday. We got flatted today, so we're lucky. Probably shorted again. Kind of like silver at this level, $91 to put on a trading short. Again, all this stuff is through options. Important to understand. But what I'm saying is gold is up 40 right now on the cash. What do you think? How do you know? Like what I'm saying is, how do you know it's not going to be up 80 or down on the day? You have zero. It's like literally, it's like a guess in the dark. And I got sidetracked a little, but here's what I'd like to ask you. And you've been right on gold, okay, for the last couple of years, and it's been a very good trade, okay. But here's what I'd like to ask you, okay. Like how do you equate this gold to the gold of the last 3 years? The gold of the last 3 years, if you put a chart up in the gold for the last 3 years, gold did not have more than 1 to 5, 2.5% up days for the whole year. And the thing was up 30% for the year or whatever. It was up small every day. It never went down. Okay. Now you have this new gold, which isn't really gold, it's something on a wheel that retail is playing that's moving 3% every day, 2 to 3%. Okay. That makes me nervous. That makes me leery, and that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about that this is overly retail owned. There's crazy volatility in something that was in a bull market that, look at gold. Gold is up 20% for the year. Gold was up 25% for the year, Eric, and went back down on the year. So it went up 25, went down 25, and now is up 20. I mean, this is not anything that we saw. And this is, yeah, it's still part of the bull market, but this is a phase of the bull market in my mind that looks very different than the easy, straight up bull market that we had for the last 2 years, right? We never had a 10% pullback in the last 2 years. Okay. And now we've had over a 20% pullback and now it's back up. So all I'm
Well,
saying is I think the dynamic fundamental looks very, very different. That's all. So I would be careful in there. Yeah, it's going up, but today it's up 40. It could be down on the day easily. I don't trust it. It's untrustworthy. But anyway, we're getting close to the end. Um, so what do you think equities today? The S&P is up 26, high of the week right now, 69.30. Are we going to break out here to the upside? It's still inside the range. What do you think? What do you think
uh,
people should do
for
today?
today, I think most of the upside, especially in Nasdaq, has been had overnight. Um, I think right here is a pretty decent spot to put on some call spreads. I'm thinking like a 69.45, 69.50 out of the gate. Could
Is
be
that on cash or on futures?
on cash is kind
Ah,
of
dude,
where
you're
I.
not going to get any. You're getting nothing for that trade. Zero.
Why? Why?
What do
The
you mean why?
45 is trading at 3,
That's
and
very low.
the 55 is trading at $1.40.
I
That's a
know. I'm
dollar.
just telling you that's very, very low compared to what we've seen over the last couple of days. I mean, dude, you were $60 out of the money. You were $60 out of the money yesterday on the 95 calls, and they had a way higher bid yesterday than $3. I'm just letting you know. You know that you were in them, okay? And the bottom line is, I
The
think
other
this.
the other play for a day like this, where you see vol getting crushed and everything looks bullish, is to kind of wait until the straddle is priced really, really low and start looking for in the money credit spreads where a simple 10-point move in your direction pays you like $4 or $5 in premium. So that typically is going to happen, I think, towards the end of the day. That's when I start looking for in the money spreads or something that's close to like a credit spread trading close to max loss on days like this. I'll look to
Mhm.
sell those. But for out of the money, I'm seeing 69.45, 50 level as something that could hold today, could hold the market in today. I wouldn't sell any put spreads right here. Again, I think most of the upside probably has been had for the overnight during the overnight.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm hoping it stays inside the range, but I'm feeling like we've been in this coiled range for a long time. We're back on the upside. It should hold in, but it may not. So again, I just want to say oil is flat on the day after being up. So I still like the long side there. Gold, I can tell you straight up, it's up 39. We can't trust it. Okay, it is not
I'd
just
agree with that. I'd agree. I think it went up a little too fast out of that consolidation, and I've been positioned for that consolidation to last a little bit longer.
yeah. I want to sell some silver. I'm going to come out of the gate selling a little bit of silver expiration today. Sell around the 81 half level, the 91 half level. S&Ps are, like I said, kind of a no trade. And we'll keep an eye on Bitcoin, see when you get stopped in, young man. Anyway, that's it for today. I wish everybody good luck. I do like Ethereum and Bitcoin. I've been pumping, that for a week now. It's starting to work. Bitcoin's up 3. The Ethereum, I want to kill myself. I was freaking did not buy that. It's up a lot. It's up over 6. Um, and I think the trade is higher and the trade's washed out. So we'll see what happens there. I wish everyone luck. Low straddle today. It may be a day to, you know, most people are probably in the cold, but it's actually cold in Florida today. But I may do a beach lunch today and relax. So I wish everyone great trading. Good luck. We'll be back to everyone tomorrow to talk about the Nvidia earnings and get ready for the Iran. I'm not going to call it trade deal, even though it is trade because it's basically over nuclear. But I get ready for the Iran fade out on the nuclear deal. So everyone, good luck today trading and enjoy. Peace.